Helen Keller, the girl who could not sit hard or speak. Sometimes we might feel frustrated with our put advance in the learning of foreign language. Nevertheless, with the next story, we shall find dogged example of persistent and every coming in the particular situation. Then we would say of that not to say I can answer again in our life. I like you tonight. I I like you to know the history of Helen Keller, who called nature she know her from the time she was a baby. Therefore, later she could even tell. And Amos said there was nothing wrong with Helen Keller. When she was born, her father and her mother were very proud of her pretty baby, who tried to say Papa and Mama. For 19 months, Helen grew bigger and stronger, and she was able to walk when she was 8 years old. She could say a few words. But one day the child fell ill. He must have been very ill, for days she was laid up with a heat fever, and soon the parents learned that their darling would never be able to see and hear once more her life. The little child was now doomed to a life of silence and darkness. She would not hit what size of the and did not how to tell. He was humble then to play with other children. When Helen was 6 years old, her parents looked her to Baltimore and to Washington to famous doctor to find out they called to sometime to make her hair and see again, but the doctors could do nothing. And the child was hopelessly deaf. Dr. Bell said the killers should address the Perkins Institution of the Blind in Boston, and as in the cold send someone to help the child. Although it needless to say how miserable his parents felt, they never gave up their enterprise of giving her daughter the chance to live a life. And it was a wonderful day for Helen Keller when Anne Sullivan arrived in March 1887 to take charge of the child who nature her no speak. Helen was nearly 7 and Sullivan was past 20. And Sullivan found a way to make herself understood. He gave the child a doll, and talking Helen Keller have the slowly speed O-D-O-L. The child learned for the first time that things must have names. When Miss Sullivan later failed into little girls and the words WATAR and her led the weather for the pounds round ever his hand. A new light sounded through brighten the face of the child during the next 3 months. He learned 300 words and could even put some of him into sentence. Miss Sullivan loved her pupil who was so quick to learn. They needn't have 7 stuff. They spent till all to accomplish their goals. So she lived with Helen, played with her, and worked with every hour of the day by naps of the hands language. Helen and teacher were able to talk to each other. Helen learned to read books that were printed for the blind with raised letters. She also learned to use the typewriter to write what they wanted to say. When Helen was 10, she was determined that the world learned to speak. At first, she might have learned only the sound of the letter of the alphabet, but soon was able to say words and sentences. In the history of her life, Helen Keller writes, "I shall never forget the surprise and delight filled when altered my first connected sentence. I is one." At first, she had most difficulty with her speed, but Anne Sullivan understood what Helen trying to say. Helen practiced speed day after day until at last they developed a clear voice. Later she was able to speak before large crowds which came to hear her whenever she lectured. At the age of 20, Helen Keller passed all the difficult entrance examination to Radcliffe College. Helen did when she was in college. In her writing and lectures, Helen did everything she called to help and now others who were blind.